Hello YouTube and welcome to another game I played on Ptcgo. This time I am using a Team Plasma deck. As you can see, I start off with Keldeo and a Absol on the active. My opponent mulliganed several times, and right away I knew what kind of deck he was playing. It looks like it's going to be a quad Snorlax. That's the only deck in format that usually causes you to mulligan that often, and you'll get to see what it does in a bit. So here, I can actually start attacking with Absol. I'll only hit for 20, but I'm just going to Chorus Machine a Plasma Energy and attach a Prism and hit him for 20. I'm going to put down, I think, a Float Stone on Keldeo because I just don't want to know my deck. It's not really going to help against Snorlax since you can't retreat. Its ability Block prevents you from going anywhere. So here I'm just going to Skyla for a Hypnotoxic Laser. Start building the damage up on Snorlax. You'll see how annoying this deck can be. And then I'm going to Mind Jack for 20. So my opponent fortunately stays asleep. And let's see what they do. So the whole focus on their deck is only to run Snorlax and spam its ability Block, which prevents your opponent from retreating. So it's going to use cards that make it hard to attack. So like hammers, lasers, and also cards that help them heal, like potions, but it doesn't use any energies. So here they healed off a max potion, and they end me to a decent hand. I have supporters to choose from. But yeah, they do nothing else during their turn, and they pass. So here I'm just gonna end. I don't want to switch out don't want to switch out the stadium yet because I still want my opponent to take damage from poison. Here I get another Chorus Machine. I'm going to attach to the bench Deoxys and Mind Jack again for 20. So here, if my opponent doesn't get out another Snorlax, he's going to lose just by virtue of getting knocked out. There's 40 left. So by the end of my turn, he'll be long gone. He's going to Tool Scrapper. Again, this really doesn't make sense because if I rush in, I can't retreat, so I don't know why he's wasting that card. But he manages to get 2 Snorlax down this turn, one by playing a Plasma Ball. So, looks like my opponent's set for the long haul. But yeah, it looks like he'll still lose the Snorlax if he doesn't do anything with it. So, there we see a max potion. So again, he just wiped out all the damage. So this is really a deck that likes to troll. They're going to bring out Shadow Triad, and bring out another Plasma Ball, and bring out their 4th and final Snorlax. So because this deck doesn't run energy, it runs a lot of supporters, usually a Shadow Triad and Skyla, to try to get lasers, get back lasers, because that's the way it deals damage. It also uses items like Eviolite and Rocky Helmet, sometimes a Life Dew, to try to just prevent you from taking prizes altogether. So I end at the beginning of my turn. I'm going to Plasma Ball for another Deoxys after I put a Giratina on the bench. I figure that might be helpful in this match since it does more damage to poison. I'm going to Mind Jack and finally take a prize. Of course, my opponent promotes one of his bench Snorlax, and he has a Revive in hand. So again, cards to just keep me from attacking. So this is another tactic they use. They capture up something with no energy, forcing you to get stuck there because Block prevents you from retreating. Now he's going to Skyla, probably for Hypnotoxic Laser, to poison me. So then I will be stuck with Snorlax in the active until, with Keldeo in the active until I can get 2 energies onto it. And that's the only way it's going to get out of the active unless I manage to get another Keldeo into play. So here I think I'm going to play down Frozen City just to prevent taking poison damage. And I guess I'm going to Chorus here for 6, and I managed to hit my other Keldeo, which is really good. I can start building it up with energies. So I'm going to attach a Prism and just rush in And I think I'm going to rush back in just to prevent this new Keldeo from taking damage. It already took 20 due to the Frozen City that I just played, but that's sort of the cost you have to pay to prevent from poisoning yourself. So I use a laser here, hopefully to start whittling away at my opponent. He probably still has at least 2 other max potions, and maybe a gold potion, and maybe a Rocky Shield. I don't know. But I've seen several variants of these. They're not all that competitive, but they can be quite frustrating to deal with. Here we see a Crushing Hammer getting rid of my Prism, another Shadow Triad, probably to get a Hypnotoxic Laser. Yep. So he's going to hit me with the laser, switch out my Stadium and put down a Veer Bank. And with that laser, he actually can't do much. He's just going to do 30 damage because I can just rush in and rush back in and alternate, making it really hard for him to knock me out as well. So I get a Water Energy. I'm going to attach it onto the bench. Keldeo, rush in again, and just pass. So at this point, I'm actually using a Plasma deck, and I'm not really thinking about attacking with Plasma Pokemon because Keldeo will be the best one to use. So my opponent's now going to Sharon, and he hits Recycle, but he hits a Tails. It's another card that gets used often in these decks to try to bring back Laser and Catcher. And we see a third Max Potion, I believe. So it's followed by a Hammer, but he fortunately gets a Tails on that. So hopefully I'll get energy on the field and be able to start attacking. Attach a blend to my bench Keldeo and hit another Chorus Machine just attach to Deoxys in case he wants to catch that up. It's somewhat ready to attack with one more attachment. Now my opponent gets a Skyla, so maybe for a Hammer, maybe for a Laser, not quite sure, or maybe for a Supporter. Yep, we see another Laser. So yeah, the way those decks run, it's pretty much an endless stream of lasers. Unfortunately, I don't fall asleep. Not that it really matters with Keldeo. So he just ends his turn. And now I actually have enough energy on my bench Keldeo to rush in and start Secret Sorting. This time for the knockout. So I can take my second prize, and this is already 7.5 minutes into the game. I've only taken 2 prizes. So the only real ways I've lost to this is my opponent ends up decking me out by hammering away all my energy. But otherwise, it's a fairly straightforward match if you have Pokemon that can hit heavy. So here my opponent actually uses Random Receiver, gets a Getsis. I don't want him to use it because all I have is items in my hand at the moment. So I'm just going to Laser in case he's going to get rid of it, and just Secret Sword again for 90. So my opponent does not retreat that Snorlax. He's going to lose it as well. But of course he could play potentially another Max Potion, if not a Gold Potion. That would also make sense. But looks like he's going to go for Shadow Triad and bring back a Plasma card from his discard pile. That's what that supporter does, and it's a Laser again. So I didn't actually count how many times he used lasers throughout this match, but I'm guessing it's quite a bit. So he's going to use Laser, adding 30 more damage to my Keldeo. But it is, I don't know, I think it'll only have 60 on it by the end of this turn. And he loses his third Snorlax. So now he's down to 1. If he can't replace that 1, I will win the game. So again, I'm going to repeat my rush back in strategy. We'll use Laser. And here I'm just going to Secret Sword. Force him to act or lose right now. If he doesn't heal off the damage, he will lose at the end of my turn, I believe. I think. So He's clearly contemplating here. I have 3 players left. He's going to Skyla if he gets a potion or a max potion or a gold potion. I think he might be good, but instead he goes for Revive, which also works in this case. So he's going to revive another Snorlax, and he's really running out of ways to attack me, so he loses his Snorlax in between turns, and the fresh one goes into the active spot. I'm just going to Core's Machine, see what I can get off of this. I get a Prism Energy. I'm going to put it on, for whatever reason, my benched one, and hit for 90. I could have attached to the active and hit for 110, but I guess I'd rather be safe than sorry, because either way I wasn't going to knock him out. He's going to get this and get rid of my catcher and draw 1 card for that. He hits a Crushing Hammer, but it's a Tails, so nothing happens here. So it looks like my opponent can't do much, so maybe he'll just pass. He does, and here I have the win. So I'm just going to Secret Sort for the win. And thank you guys for watching. That is Quad Snorlax for you. Stay tuned for more videos. Bye.